Welcome to Pesha Nick's Real Talks, where we talk about the real issues and the real topics. Nowadays, social media has become the new addiction. Like, you can't live without social media. Non-stop, you're scrolling. Okay, now, can you tell me, like, is social media can become an asset, or is it a liability, or how you can leverage it?
Once again, a wonderful question, Nikita. I think it is very relevant for young people and not so young people also. Everyone, today, India, out of 1.4 billion people, at least a billion are on social media. And you have the Facebook, you have the LinkedIn, you have the WhatsApp, you have the Pinterest, Instagram, YouTube, everything is there. Huh? So the first concept for professional, which I will say, is that professional and entrepreneurs and businessmen, that social media is not one monolithic animal. Each of these are actually different platforms. Try to understand that. So that's the first thing. No. So each have different things. In fact, I'm so pleasantly surprised and happy to see that once upon a time LinkedIn had only, I think, 20-30 million people in India. Today LinkedIn is 100+ million in India, possibly the second largest market of LinkedIn across the world, and maybe even the largest. It will surpass US shortly. Okay, so we are very strong. So that's the first concept you have to understand, that it is not one monolithic social media. Each platform has its own role. And of course, I, having been CMO for last 20-30 years, I know this has been my bread and butter. This is what I have been doing for brands. And I'm trying to share with younger people and the general audience per se, from the non-marketing fraternity, even some of the chairman and MD and business heads and owners, that role of social media in your personal life, professional life, and it's not one monolithic structure. Each is different. So that's the first concept. Second thing is how really you will use social media. So let me be a very strong votary and tell you, I am a very strong proponent of social media for two reasons. Number one is, post the age of Facebook and WhatsApp, which is, let's say, around 15 years ago, let's assume, in India. Okay. I have been able to reconnect with a lot of my old batchmates, school friends across the world. Otherwise, I had lost connection with them. I don't have their numbers, telephone numbers. Okay, so we are able to connect back with them. So this is a very important thing with your old friends, family, batchmates, my IIT mates, IIM mates, school friends, ex-colleagues. So this is a very good thing why for social media is important. In fact, let me tell you, today, interestingly, one of my IIT batchmates actually flying from Seattle to Istanbul, Istanbul to Bombay, Bombay to Ahmedabad. He's coming, and we had discussed long time ago that whenever you're passing Bombay, please do be in touch, and I want to meet you like I met him when I went to US. Courtesy WhatsApp communication, he reminded me on 9th, 3 days ago, that today is his date. And I was able to go in the morning, pick him up at T2 Airport, Bombay. He had a layover of 5 hours. I was able to actually spend time with him for 4 hours. And then I dropped him back at the airport because he has to fly at Ahmedabad. See the power. This is what I say is the power of social media. Okay. So one has to look at the positives. Okay.
Yeah, but like, how is it like how it can become an asset? Like,
Yeah.
how you can actually use it in a professional life?
Here largely I'm talking personal if you ask me, but little bit professional also. So that is one. Second, very important thing which I have understood from social media is that you may have recently heard that there was some shooting in Bondi Beach in Sydney in Australia. I don't know whether you heard about it, but it was there. On the Christmas Day or New Year's Day or something like that, there was a shooting. Okay. There was one of my batchmates and friends and alums who is an Australian citizen. He was there in Sydney, and apparently he had gone with his family at that day. Okay, and thankfully he was not near the shooting. He got saved and he was outside. But immediately on that instant, I came to know, and he sent it to us in the group, in our alum group, that this is what has happened. Now, when I went to internet and checked, that same news reached internet another 1 hour later. Okay. And when I mean internet, I mean all the internet ways of doing things, the Reddits of the world and the YouTubes and Instagram and all that personal networks of the world. And mainstream media, it actually reached after another 1 or 2 hours. Okay. So hyper local news reaching people, actually social media is faster. Another example, let me give you. I think this was 10 or 15, 10 years ago or 5 years ago. I don't remember. You must be remembering there was a flight which actually, because of certain reasons, had to land in Hudson River in New York during winter. They had a problem. And the captain was able to land it. There has been a movie on that later on, successfully, without any injuries and without any fatalities. Fantastic thing on the part of the captain. So it landed on Hudson River. It's called a river landing of an aircraft. That I picked up through my social media feed of Instagram and Facebook immediately as it happened, and the mainstream media actually reported it after 2 hours. So that is the power. So there's a big power of social media. Now coming to, did you ask me a question on how to manage your personal feed? Did you ask me that question?
No, I asked you about like how you can use social media, like instead of making it a liability, how can you use it like for asset creation, like to build business.
Well, that is the final thing. See, frankly, according to me, don't use your personal social media profile for building your business profile. That is, you have to be a little careful. So I'm not a strong votary of that. Okay. So, for small entrepreneurs, you have to be very careful that you have a social media profile and your brand has a social media profile. Let's say at your social media profile is Nikita. You might have a brand. What's the name of your brand?
Nikitara.
Nikita?
Tara.
Tara. Now you have to understand that these have to be two different profiles, not the same. So similarly, for example, me, I am Peshwa Acharya. And my consulting company, which I launched in 2013, is Think as Consumer. So these are two different profiles. First thing, don't completely mix it up. Okay, unless you are a celebrity. So then it can be same. The name is the brand. The question is, you have to draw from each other. So today, Think as Consumer draws everything from Peshwa Acharya and the other co-founders. That's what I'm saying. So it's not exactly the same. You have to draw from each other. Okay. So how to use it? The basic thing which you can use for your business requirements or entrepreneurial requirements is that your personal social media profile will add to trust and legacy. That is what it will add to. Okay. Like for example, very simple. I have been working for last 30 years. So I've been a CMO for 20 years, CEO for 5 years, all that. So in my last 20, 30 years, I've been working in large corporates. So when I consult for companies which are large, and let's say last 10 years I've been doing that, they are not only taking what Think as Consumer brings on the table, but what Peshwa Acharya's complete expertise and experiences. Same thing for brands. Okay. So this is how you have to use. So you have to be a little careful.